Welcome to another awesome episode of She Decides. I'm your host, Staci Swiderski, and I am joined by my amazing guest co-host, Michelle Carr. We are so excited to bring you a conversation with a true powerhouse in the aesthetics industry, Kim Burke. Kim is a trailblazing entrepreneur, medical expert, and mentor to many. She's the founder, CEO, and medical director of Kiss Aesthetics Chicago, with 2 thriving locations in the suburbs. As a board-certified nurse practitioner, Kim has earned her place among the top 100 best injectors in America, not just once, but several years in a row. With a Master's of Science in Nursing, Kim is a firm believer in lifelong learning. She's trained with some of the most respected leaders in the aesthetics and plastic surgery space and has gone on to train hundreds of injectors herself, founding her own Kiss Next Level Injector Academy to elevate and empower the next generation of aesthetics professionals. Kim also serves as a national trainer, and she's a frequent speaker at industry conferences across the country. Her practice is ranked in the top 1% nationally with Galderma and among the top 100 in the U.S. for dye sport and sculpture sales, an incredible accomplishment. And somehow, in the midst of all of that, Kim still finds time for what's most important, spending time with her husband of over 20 years and their 2 grown children, and of course, their 2 dogs. Kim Burke is truly redefining success in the aesthetic space, and today she's here to share her journey, her insights, and what it really takes to build something meaningful, lasting, and driven by purpose. Welcome back, everybody, to our next episode of She Decides. I am your host, Staci Swiderski, and we have our wonderful co-host, Michelle Carr.
Hello.
And we're excited to introduce our amazing guest here, Kim Burke. She is the founder and owner of Kiss Aesthetics. And let's dive in. We have so many questions for you, and we're excited to get to know you so much more than what I feel we already do.
I feel like it's just 3 friends talking today. We're clients, so Kim's perfect to have on.
Oh,
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
It's going to be so much fun. So, Kim, first, if you don't mind, just introduce yourself. Like, obviously your name. We've done that, but give us a little background.
So, I am a family nurse practitioner, and I got into aesthetics just to do something fun on the side. And I wanted to be creative, but I still wanted to do something with medicine and science. So, it was more when my kids got older, when I went back to school to become a nurse practitioner, they were 2 and 4. And I was so focused on school. I was working part-time in the emergency room. I had a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. And it was just, life was very busy. And when they started to grow up, I was like, wait a second. I feel like I have a little bit more time for me now. And I want to entertain something that I actually want to do instead of driving kids to and from swim lessons and soccer and, my studying for tests. And I remember specifically my husband taking the kids for their haircuts. He used to take them to a place in Shanahan, and my girlfriend was in the chair, and he brought my kids in to get their haircut. And one of the women was like, she is never with those kids. And she,
oh boy.
Yeah. And my girlfriend called me and was like, I cannot, she's like, did you know that she is a mother and she's in school and she's working. And but I'm like, well, it's true. I've never taken them for haircuts. I haven't. And if this is the only time they see my husband and my kids, it's because they're for haircuts. But
she doesn't see everything else that you do.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the little snippet, but it was really hard because, you're trying to do everything. And when they got older, I realized that, wow, okay, who am I? I'm more than just, a Uber driver, and they don't need me the way that they used to. And I feel like I want to entertain something that I am actually interested in. So that's I started just dabbling, taking classes, getting really interested in it, and just wanting, I had a hunger, I was really hungry to learn more. Every little bit that I learned, I wanted to know more. I wanted to dive deeper. I wanted to, just keep researching and exploring. And
It's like an addiction, right?
Yeah, I was in before I knew it, I was like, oh wow, I really like this. And my real job at that time kind of was getting in the way because I was just doing like friends and family kind of thing, out of my house and when it's convenient for me and for them. And then it started to like, I would be like, oh, I have to actually go to work today when I could really just see a couple of my aesthetic clients. And I would.
It's like your passion was calling.
Yeah. And I was like, no, what am I doing?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I had a job. I was actually working for United Healthcare and I had a great job, amazing benefits, very well compensated, not using my brain at all. And I was bored.
I was going to say, you probably got
honestly
really bored.
Just going to work.
But in my head, I was like, I will never retire from this job because this is so easy. Like I can do it with my eyes closed and I make great money and I have great benefits and all of the things. Like this is great. And then I was like, but I'm bored. So that's how I started to kind of, I was doing more aesthetics and then that job got in the way. And I still to this day, I'm like,
which is a good thing.
I guess.
I'm glad you were bored.
I look back and if my husband, like if the tables were turned and if my husband was like, hey, listen, so I think I'm going to quit my job and I want to do this. I probably would have been like,
I don't think so.
Absolutely not. I don't know what
guaranteed income to do
what? You said you were going to retire from this company. Like it's so easy for you and you want to quit.
Where'd this come from?
Yeah. So literally like I approached him and I was like, you know what? I just feel, and he was like, okay, I get it. You should do that. And I was like, okay.
All right.
And honestly, if I didn't have that, I don't think I could have done that.
Right.
Because in my head.
Well, then you probably feel too like, all right, now I definitely have to do it because I gotta.
Well,
there's a motivation there.
Prove everything, everybody, everything wrong here. Like I'm going to finish.
Okay, so that was. I have this internal. I refuse to fail, and because it was me, only me, and I was quitting my job, and I was going to make this work. I was going to make this work. And it was going to become hell or high water.
Yeah.
This was going to work and I was not going to fail. And what is interesting is that I'll call it interesting, but I was so focused on making that work that I really did not pay it. I don't want to say I forgot, but like being a mom, being a wife, having a house, doing laundry, doing grocery, like all of those other things went to the wayside. And it was really, really hard on our marriage.
Oh, I bet.
Very hard on our marriage.
Because I'm sure you totally prioritized that too.
Yeah. And he was like, my husband was like, I totally respect the fact that you want to do this and that you're giving it your all, but you have got to learn to shut it off. Because it was the second I woke up until you eat,
sleep, breathe. Like it's when you're an entrepreneur, that's all you think about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So it was really, really hard for a while.
And how old were your kids by this time?
They were like probably 10 and 12.
Okay. So
they were like school age, but like aware, but still kind of just focused on, their
and at that age though, and they kind of, they're hanging out with
it was
friends,
hard.
probably playing video games.
Yeah, for sure. It was really, really hard. And, so at that point, actually, I said, okay, I get it. I don't know that I can turn it off. So
did you feel a little bit like, resentment at all? Like when you said, did you feel like, but this is what I want to do. I want to focus.
Yes. Then I was at a crossroads.
Yeah.
As to what, okay, well, I don't have my job with United Healthcare anymore. So what do you want me to do? But then I was like, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe I can just go work at an office. I can be an employee. I can clock in. I can inject. I can do what I love. And I can clock out and I can come home and I can be a mom and a wife and all the things. And I was like, I'm going to do that because then that's like the best of both worlds, right? So I did that. And I was working with the plastic surgery group for a while. And I would come home and I just remember like I would just sit there with a glass of wine and I'd be like about like how I didn't like how this was working and like
they're not doing this right. They need to be doing
Right.
it this way.
and I
You
was
have better ideas.
Yes. And I
Yes.
was so excited to be a part of like the team there and to bring ideas and things to them. And they were just like, oh, she's so annoying. I'm not kidding you because I was like, I treated that as if it was my own. I was like, ooh, I love how you do this, but what if we did it like this? And they were just like, oh, dear Lord.
I mean, you clearly were dedicated.
Right.
You were a
I
dedicated
was.
employee.
I completely was, but I was like, I am clearly a number to them, and this is not the right fit for me.
And
So,
you had that entrepreneur just mindset.
I guess.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because
I didn't realize it,
Yeah.
but I apparently did, and I just was like, babe, this ain't it. I am not.
You're like, I
And
tried.
he's like, clearly this is not it. I can tell you're not happy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to doing my own thing, but I'm gonna have a balance this
I'm going
time.
to try to be a little more present.
Have some boundaries.
Mhm. Yes.
Oh,
And then that's when I started to be like, okay, I need to hire people because I can't do this alone.
So
Yeah.
what year did you open your first office?
2018.
Okay, 2018. And
And-
now, like, you've got 2 locations.
Yes.
How many people work for you?
I think we're at 16. Yeah, I believe we're at like 16 employees. We did have a larger group before.
Mm-hmm.
We had about 20, and that to me, first of all, I didn't sign up to manage people.
That's
As much as
different.
you're
toughest,
a leader
yes.
and an entrepreneur, I was like, wait a minute, now I have to like manage people and be like HR and like deal with like conflicts between the office. And I'm like, no, I just want to inject. Okay.
Right,
Like,
right.
this is not what I signed up. And literally, I was like, oh, wow, this is way more than I bit off. I bit off way more than I can chew. And so I was like, maybe I just need to like put people in the right places so they can manage. But then they were still like coming to me. What do you want to do
For
with this?
everything,
And I'm like,
yes.
well, isn't that what you're supposed to like do these things? Well, we need you to like give your blessing and your input. And I'm like, oh,
You are spread so thin,
Mhm.
right? As a small
Mhm.
business owner. It's
Yep.
just, especially, do you have like an office manager?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay. So
yeah. So
you learn the hard way, right? But that's
yeah.
how you do it, right?
Delegate.
Delegate.
yeah. And that was very, very hard for me. It still kind of is.
Yeah.
Especially when it's your own. Like, I'm like, nobody's going to do it the way I want to do it because this is mine and this is my vision and they can't see what's in my brain. And I want it executed a certain way. And how do I know that they're going to do it?
It
like
is
that?
tough. It is so tough.
Yeah.
And it's like, if they can even get close, like even 80%,
Mhm.
I'll take 80%.
Mhm.
But even that 20% that you have to just like turn your cheek on is tough.
Yeah.
It is
But you
tough.
know what? Now that I've let go of it, I'm like, oh, this is really nice.
Yes.
I don't want it back.
You don't want
Right.
it back. That's right.
I'm like, okay, this is good. I just like being able to be on vacation and things are still running without me. Whereas like before, like if I wasn't in the office, like there was no revenue.
It'd be
coming
chaos.
in.
Yeah, it'd be chaos. Yeah.
You know,
And
like I was the only
that's-
provider.
Yeah, and that's how you realize that you have built a successful company, right?
Yeah.
When you can step away and
Things can
the,
work.
the team is running as if you were there,
Yeah.
right?
And sometimes when I try to help, they're like,
They're like, no, can you
Just
get out of my
stay
way?
in your lane.
Yeah, get out of my way.
well,
got
that's the
it.
treatment
Right,
room.
right.
You think you're helping, but you're
really not.
please
Yeah,
stop.
you're making it.
Yeah. I'm like,
You're
okay.
just in my way.
Yeah. So that's a good place to be at, though.
Yeah,
I
that
would-
really segues, I think, into one of the questions here. Building a brand. What was the moment that you knew that you were really building the brand and the movement with Kiss Aesthetics and the whole practice?
So it was when I was still like single injector. I had like 2 people, and they always say, don't hire your friends. And of course, what did I do? I hired my friends.
We always do.
Yeah. And it's worked out beautifully. So I have nothing. They're still with me. One of
I
them is
was
my
gonna
practice
ask,
manager. They are a very integral part of the business. And so I had them working kind of behind the scenes. And I remember I was on vacation in Wisconsin, and it was July. And July, with aesthetics, there's ebbs and flows. It's like, winter, like January, February, slow because everybody had everything done. They spent all their money for Christmas. And they're broke.
And then the holidays come.
Yeah. So January, February, slow. Then the spring, it kind of picks back up again because people have like showers and weddings and spring break, all the things. Summer, June, July. They say the months that start with J are like the slowest. So January, June, July, the slowest. So I remember it was July. I was on vacation and I was in Wisconsin, and one of my friends who works with us, she called me and she was like, I'm not sure what you want me to do. And I was like, why? What's up? And she's like, there's 35 people on your wait list. And I was like,
and it was just the two of you at the time.
Wow.
I was the only injector.
You were the only injector.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was
Was
like,
she more like an admin
yes,
business
yeah,
side of
the
it?
schedule.
Yeah.
like she was, answering the
Okay.
phones, putting people on a wait list, trying
my
to
goodness.
coordinate the schedule. And she's like, you have to, and I was like, what?
Good problem to have.
Well,
right?
yeah. But then I was like, wait a second, like I'm going to lose these people. If I can't service them and I can't service them on their timeline, they're going to be like, see you later. I'm going down the street. Right. That's just the reality of it. They have a wedding.
The competition. Yeah. They got
So
timelines. And
that was when I was like, okay, something's got to give here. Like I need to, but the control of especially teaching somebody, like, I don't want to say all the tricks of the trade or your secrets, but like, yeah, I mean, I spent
How
a
you do
lot of
things.
time and money and energy and
Yeah.
blood and sweat and tears to learn all the things that I learned and what I'm going to go train somebody. So
and
they
to
can
find the people who are loyal to
Yeah, exactly.
to
I was
you and your
super
brand.
protective of that. I was like, I don't really feel comfortable training somebody and then them potentially being like, all right, well, I'm going to go do my own thing.
Thanks,
now.
peace out.
No.
I'm gonna
So that was really, really hard.
Can any of your injectors do that now at any time? Is there a
we
confidentiality clause?
we have a employment contract, which includes a non-compete, non-solicit, non-disclosure. I mean, we do what we can,
But they still
yes,
learn the trade and
Right.
they become
Yeah.
very good at
Yeah.
it. And
I mean, I do what I can from a legal standpoint to protect
Sure.
myself or the business, but at the end of the day, you just need to cross your fingers and hope for the best because
And-
literally anything is possible.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
I mean, you
Yeah.
just never know.
Right.
So, she called me and said, you have 35 people on your wait list. Like I said, it was July. Like it was a time where it shouldn't be busy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wow. Okay.
And here you think you can get away a little bit.
Yeah.
In the
Go
J
on a
month.
family vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Run.
And then, so I was like, okay, and I had like this vision of somebody that I wanted. I was like, I could like see what she looked like physically. And I was like, she's got to be younger. She's got to be motivated. She's got to be hungry. She's got to be a go-getter. And I was like, okay, wait a second. I actually have a client like that. And that is how I found Ashley.
Oh,
So
okay.
Ashley was my client. And
So what year was this? Because you opened in 2018. And then when did you hire your first?
Maybe 2019.
Oh, okay. So
It was
relatively
before
really quick though.
COVID.
Okay.
Yeah, so it had to have been 2019.
Yeah.
Reached out to her. I was like, hey, it's Kim, your injector. What are you doing? What do you think about injecting? And she was like, yeah, I would love
What
to
was she
learn.
doing before?
She was working at Christ Hospital.
Okay.
And she was working nights, like 12-hour nights. And she was also, the girl has had 3 jobs since she was 16 years old. Like she's just been
She's just
a
go, go,
worker.
go,
She
go,
was
go getter.
working at a bar. She was, doing all the things. And I'm like, do you want to learn how to inject? And she's like, sure, I would love to. And so and I was like, I'm not sure how this is going to go. I was like, I really don't know.
That was a good hire.
Yeah, well, it was,
Right?
yes. And I wasn't sure, like, how we would jive.
Was it
how-
hard for you to be really just transparent? Like,
Yes.
listen, you are my first injector and
share all the things and
yeah,
train her
the
and
knowledge
And
yeah.
we didn't have a contract initially. I was like, you know what? Let's just see if this is a good fit. So here's my schedule. These are the days I inject. You know where to find me. If you want to come and learn, you can come shadow me and learn. If it works for you, great. If you worked a night shift and you had a bad night and you can't come, that's no big deal. But like, I kind of put it on her to figure it out and like, let me know like how motivated she was. And that girl would come off of a night shift and she'd come in on no sleep and she would shadow
She's
me
like, let's
out.
go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm like,
I'm here,
how
ready
are
to
you
learn.
alive right now? She's like, I'm fine. I'm like, you're fine. So we did that for a long time. And there was no contract between us. Like I was just like,
Yeah.
she literally could be learning everything and then be like, bye.
Did you have a hard time, I guess, convincing your clients,
Yes.
we call them patients, right?
I mean, we
clients
but-
to leave you
yeah.
to go
So
to her?
yes and no, honestly, because she shadowed me for so long that I would be like, oh, hey, so-and-so, good to see you. This is Ashley. She's following along today and she's learning. And I would see them for their talks like every 3 to 4 months. And then like be 3 to 4 months later and I'd be like, hey, so this is Ashley. They're like, oh yeah, I know, I met her last time. So like I think them seeing her, just the repetition and
like a slow hand
comfort level.
yes,
Yeah.
they're like, okay, it's not just like Kim threw you to the wolves. Like she's been there and she was, observing and observing and observing, and we would do models and, all the things. And that transition actually went really well because it was really slow. And, it was just like, okay, there were some people that would slowly start to kind of, trickle off of my schedule onto hers. And then she started to really, become a really strong injector and
start building her own clientele.
Yeah. And, her and we have very different personalities, which is great because we don't have to be the same. I mean, I'm more of like the chatty coddler, hold your hand, and she's more like,
she's like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, boom, boom.
Yep,
The people that want to be in and out, that's what they want, So it works really well. So she was the first hire, like as far as
and
provider.
She's still there
and she's still there, and she's now our lead injector, and she's she does like the trainings, and she does a lot of mentoring for our new staff, and so she's developed.
Well, that's got to make you feel really good.
Yeah,
I mean, you were her mentor. Still are.
So it's crazy. It's nice to be able to breathe and be like, okay, well, she's got it.
Yeah,
she's got it figured out.
Yeah, she's got it.
So you've touched on that, like you hit, like wear a lot of hats, CEO, mentor, just said that. How do you balance everything while still like honing in on your craft?
That's a great question, Michelle.
And you do a lot of educational.
You do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think.
I mean, there's always new things. You always have new things.
I was going to say,
so like, how are you doing all of that?
So I always felt that, aesthetics, especially with social media, right? People are on TikTok, they're on Instagram, they're wanting the salmon sperm facial, and they're wanting the latest, greatest things, and it's like, okay, you got to stay ahead of the curve, because if if I was practicing the same way I practiced when I first came into this industry, like I would be falling to the wayside.
Right. You have to evolve.
You have to, keep up with the curve.
Yeah.
So, I just had told myself from the very beginning that, nobody will ever fault me for being educated and investing in myself and wanting to learn and grow. And, because I was the new kid on the block, and I was with all these people who are still in the industry, big names, big trainers. And I was like, wow. And I was like, how do I even get like that? And I was like, you know what? The more I educate myself and the more I put myself in the room with these people and have, attend these conferences and attend these lectures and these meetings and dinners, like that's how you start to do it. And then I just started, really enjoying it.
And surrounding yourself with the people who have been in the industry for a long time and learning from them.
And
I know
mentors,
Becca had, she had shared that you like travel all over to do a lot of public speaking and
and I like that. I like the balance. I like, it's nice to get out of the clinic and, go and present, and, it's a little nerve wracking sometimes, but I like having that. I like doing a little bit.
It makes you grow. Right?
Yeah.
It makes you grow when you get out of your little comfort zone.
Exactly.
And you, meet new people or you are teaching or.
For sure. Yeah. And every time when I'm going to train an account, I always learn something. Even though like I'm there training them, I'm like, oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Right.
Like it's just, even though these people are, brand new and maybe not know anything about injectable, they have a different perspective. And I'm like,
well, and you're really on this platform now that, in the beginning, having that mindset of, when you're saying you were working at the other practice and you had all these ideas, and now you can take these ideas, spin them into your own company. Yeah. And people are seeing you like this person as you are, as an expert in your field and your craft. And I mean, And sometimes you get so caught in it because this is what you do every day, you don't realize it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not just on the hamster wheel, Staci.
yeah, it's just constant. It's just,
I'm
don't
just
jump
keep on
off.
going.
You jump off, you're going to go rolling.
Yeah,
right. Or you just don't realize like the level of success that you've achieved.
Because you're just so, and I think, you know, I was talking to, actually it was two other entrepreneurs. One was local business owners, and we were talking about like competition. You know, how do you handle that? Like, how do you handle other competition? You know, especially, you know, when the industry is growing and places are popping up everywhere.
Yeah, it's just booming. Your industry is just booming.
I think honestly, it's like I don't want to say I drown out the noise, but I'm just so laser focused on what we're doing that I can't pay attention.
You kind of, to that. I mean, because you are obviously, again, with the education and just all the new techniques that come out, I'm sure you're just like diving in and wanting to soak it all up.
Yeah. And I feel like it's not constructive to be, you know, watching and being like, oh, that's a good idea. Oh, why didn't we think? No. Well,
just I think they're probably watching you more than what you're watching.
Right.
So I
don't But I think I just feel like, you know, as long as you're staying true to yourself.
That's right.
You know, you're following what your morals are. You're doing what's right and what's honest and what's safe. And you're creating a great client experience. Like, that's all I really care about. And so like what so-and-so is doing down the street,
and who has time for that?
Right.
Right.
It's like, it's fine. It's fine. Let them be.
Right.
Let them. I'm listening to that.
Right.
The Mel Robbins.
Yeah. I'm all up Mel Robbins' ass right now.
Right. I mean, it's all, she's got an answer for everything.
Oh,
doesn't
she does. But I love her.
Yeah.
But no,
very
seriously,
motivating.
I think that really, you have to kind of just drown out that noise.
So obviously I'm in real estate, you know that. Yeah. And that's a very competitive industry.
Yes.
There's new people entering it all the time. I've had friends who have entered, you know, after I've done transactions for them, you know, I'm going to get my real estate license. You made it look so easy. Okay, great. You know, but I remember that very early on, one of my mentors told me, he was my first managing broker. He said, you are going to have friends that enter this because you make it look so easy, right? You can't get mad because whoever.
It's really a compliment though.
It is, but you know, none of them are in it still.
Oh,
so,
okay.
You know, it was like come and go. But I remember him telling me, whoever works with you, they're not going to be working with them. Like your clients are going to come to you because it's you. Their clients are going to come to them because their personalities, their way of doing business go to them. So we've talked about this. I don't really compete with any other agents. I just do what I do.
Yeah.
I stick with what I know. I you know, brand myself and compete with myself and nobody else. And I think with you, because you are in such a competitive industry, that people are going to come to you and your injectors, because they like you and they like what you do. And they know that you're always offering something new. And that's just really what it is.
And you guys do such an amazing job.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, from the time you walk into the door.
Yeah. I mean, literally it's, you've really branded yourself into clearly the expert.
We try.
But you have.
No,
I mean, it's an experience when you walk in. You're not just walking into like some sterile environment.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. From the front desk, when I go into your office, I mean, they're just so helpful and they're so kind and they're just,
That's great.
I mean,
and it's a cute environment.
And it's so cute. And it starts from top down, you know, so you're doing an amazing job with mentoring everybody, not just your injectors, but just your team. So something proud of for sure.
That was, you know, I had to take a leadership course because I was like, I can do clinical stuff all day long. That's what I went to school for, but I don't know how to be a leader. I'm like, what? Like I said, I have to manage these people. And that was actually really, really helpful for me. I mean, it was actually myself, my practice manager, and Ashley took a leadership course. It was called like Leadership for Managers. It was through like the Dale Carnegie. One of the Dale Carnegie courses, and that I was like, okay, I get it now. Like I understand. And that really, really just helped give me like a blueprint as to how to manage people. And that was extremely helpful for me because I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm. Same here. And I think definitely, when you are leading your team, they are watching every move you're making.
And you're like, I'm just throwing stuff at the wall.
You're like, really? Yeah. Like, yeah. And, and they are, they're trying to do the best job that they can do. And maybe they don't have the skill set or they're still learning or whatever. But then as the owner, you are wearing so many hats and you have such a liability, and it's a different kind of pressure.
It is.
It's a different kind of pressure. So it's, you almost have to, like, before you say something, or you have to almost like think before it comes out.
Sometimes
I
do
that's
that. Sometimes
right. And it depends who's around, right?
Yeah.
Like what team members that, you get to know your team, but it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough, for sure.
And I think that, I'm just transparent with them. I'm like, listen, guys, I don't have all the answers. So if you have a better idea, by all means, please share it. I mean, I am an open book, and, we do like a staff meeting like every other Friday. And I'm just like, all right, so here's the issue. We have X, Y, and Z going on. I'm not really sure. What do you guys think? Like letting them kind of navigate it and giving them the authority and gives them the buy-in.
Yes.
And they're like, ooh, that makes them feel important. And by all means, like, I can't do this by myself. I want them.
Right.
I want their insight. I want them to feel a part of the team and that their voice is heard. And I need that.
Right.
So
yeah. We hire smart, amazing people to, bring those ideas. And
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. They always say you don't want to be the smartest one in the room, right? So
true.
You want to learn from those around you. Yeah. And really empower them to share their ideas. Yeah. And it's going to help them grow and you grow as well. 100%. So win-win for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. So I have the next question for you. So what's something about the aesthetic industry people often misunderstand or oversimplify, especially when it comes to women entrepreneurs in the space?
So I think that a lot of healthcare providers see like the Instagram side of aesthetics and that it's fun and the glitz and the glamour and, oh my goodness, look at all of this. And wow, you're just making people beautiful and you're working with your friends and you just get to like play on social media all day. And, your patients want to be there. They're not sick. And yes, all of that. But then there's also the side of it, this is still medicine. There is still risks. You do need to be able to navigate that. And you need to be safe. There's always going to be the difficult clients. There's always going to be the difficult employees. There's, there's only like a little snippet that they see, right. And when people want to get into the industry, because there's like an influx, especially after COVID, everyone wanted to leave the hospital. They're like, get me out of here. Yes, I don't blame them one bit. They want to leave the hospital. They want to do something different and fun. And they want to go into aesthetics, which was great and is great because, I train new injectors. So I'm like, okay, perfect. This works for my business model. But also, I guess I equate it to, you can give anybody a paintbrush, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they can paint, right? Not everyone is an artist. And it truly does come down to artistry and science, to seeing something, having a vision, getting on the same page with your patient or your client and, having that same vision and build that trust with you because, it's their face and they're not going to trust that with anybody.
No.
And for them to, spend a lot of money and say, go, do what you need to do. I trust you. Like that is not lost on me. That is something that is not, to get that rapport, it takes time and energy and you have to prove yourself and people, may be skeptical, but, I think when they look at the aesthetics industry, it's like, oh, it's so fun and it's easy and I can inject. And that's,
I was just going to say that. Yeah. How many people do it on the side?
Yeah. Which is, and I want people to be educated and I want people to be, when people have a bad result, whether it's a dropped brow or a wonky lip, whatever, if they have a bad result, that's a bad look for the entire industry.
They're like your marketing.
Yes.
Basically.
And whether I did it or whether our practice did it or whether somebody else who never picked up a needle, like all they do is they see, oh my gosh, she had Botox and it's so bad and I'm never getting it.
I'm not going there.
Yeah. Or I don't want it, period. I don't know who did it,
yeah.
but I will never get it.
Right.
You know, so you still want to protect the fact that like, this is still science. This is still medicine. This is people's face. This is people's life. And you can be like, oh, it's just Botox. It'll wear off in 3 to 4 months. Well, do you want to be walking around with an eyelid?
Your eye,
Not
like,
really.
right.
That
Like
can't
you had like
open
a
for
little,
3 to 4 months.
like you had a little mini stroke or something with it. You don't want that look either. I think it would be incredibly like difficult to do what you guys do. I mean,
I think that
because you can't
sometimes
hide
gets
it.
lost on people. Yeah. That it's like, I can start IVs, I can hang drips, I can, run a code and so by all means, of course I can do aesthetics, I can do cosmetics.
Like you said, in social media these days. It makes
right.
it look like it's just one big party.
Yeah.
So what sets apart like a good injector from a great injector?
So
Kind of piggybacks on what you were saying.
yeah, I mean, I think that's like a multifaceted question. So we had an interview yesterday with an esthetician and she was like, what would be your ideal candidate? And I was like, well, skills I can train. I feel very confident in myself and Ashley and our other injectors. We can train you, we can mold you, we can teach you how to inject. What I can't teach you is work ethic, personality, hustle, motivation, how to market yourself, how to have people like you. Like that's, you either have it or you don't.
Right.
And you could be the best injector in the world and create the most beautiful results. But if you don't have that connection with your clients, that's like it's lost.
It's going to,
So it's important, that they understand that it's something that there's a lot of behind. It's really the person, like I said, we can train people, but you really need that personality.
Have you ever hired somebody and just thought they're just not jiving and you've had to?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah. That's no fun.
Actually, this was a conversation we had yesterday after our interview because we were like, we had like 4 people. We sat down with this person and we had gone through the phone interviews and we're like, geez, this is like such a pain. Like with hiring somebody, we used to just be like, oh yeah, you look great. Okay, perfect. You seem nice. Let's go. But then you learn, right? The hard way. You're like, no. What do they say? Right? They say like hire slow, fire quick.
Yeah.
So we're like,
Fire
we
fast.
learned the hard way that just because they seem like fun and outgoing and doesn't mean they're going to be the right fit for us. So unfortunately, yes, we've had to have those difficult conversations where we're like, you know what, this just isn't working for us. Like, it's just doesn't fit our culture, our vibe. And it sucks. It totally sucks. So we're trying to really be more selective so we don't have to go those routes.
Right.
Sure.
It sucks.
I mean, your guys' ratings, if anybody were to Google, I mean, you guys have like 5.0 across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive. You don't see that like with most businesses. So, I mean.
I mean, it's something that we're definitely like honed in on and it's on, our radar. We definitely, because we don't pay for like the pay-per-click ads and, to be ranked high in the SEO and marketing and things like that. Like we don't do that. I want it to be organic. So one of the things that unfortunately I learned the hard way, by like sitting in webinars and, during COVID, that's like all I did with my life was just sit in front of a computer listening to webinar after webinar to learn on how to,
put your learning ears on. And,
and that was one of the big things is they were just like, get the Google reviews, get the Google reviews.
They will speak for themselves.
Yeah.
And for sure. That'll be your best marketing tool.
Yeah. It really bumps you up in the SEO and
those testimonials are huge.
Yeah.
It's everything.
They are.
And definitely what you were sharing before with like personality and all of that. This is such a personal space, right? So when somebody comes in and they say, oh, I want my lips done or I want Botox. And if you get just like a grumpy person that's doing that and they're not really listening, they're probably just going to go somewhere else.
Well, it's about that connection.
Yeah.
I mean,
for sure.
I mean, we always say like we're like the therapist, we're the best friend, we're
Yeah.
the, oh my God, he's awful, you know, I mean, whatever you need to be, but it's because we're there in the thick of it, and we, you know, people are vulnerable and they're sitting in the chair for a long period of time and they feel comfortable
It's
with
like
you.
their
And then
safe
talking.
space.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, you know, when they're talking about when they have their relationship with their hairdresser, they're like, oh, no, that's
Right.
my girl.
Yeah.
No,
It's like,
no.
I can imagine the confidential information you guys have to like, it's a vault.
100%. Yes, 100%. But it's a relationship, and you know, it's not something that we take lightly either. So if somebody calls in sick and we're like, oh, we have to move you to somebody else's schedule, we're like, I don't know. That's like, we really try not to do that, because it's not just like if you were to go show up for your hair appointment, they're like, oh, hey, so you're going to see Lindsay today? And you're like,
no, I'm not.
No,
Lindsay doesn't do my hair.
Yeah, no.
Right.
No.
Lindsay doesn't know all my secrets.
Yes, exactly. Like that, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, that's your person, and so you develop that, and it takes time, you know, to build and
build that clientele
for sure, and develop that trust.
So with that, it segues into my next question: is how do you empower your team to really lead, innovate, and build their own confidence, especially as they are building their clientele?
Yeah. I mean, I try to really, first of all, hire people who I see that potential and, you know, where I'm like, she's got it. Like, I don't know, whatever that it factor is, like, she's got it, you know, maybe just needs a little fine tuning here and there, but like, she's got all
at the core, they got
all
check
the
box,
things.
good people,
Yeah.
kind soul.
Yes. They're smart. They know how to relate to people. They get it. And I think that having them buy into it and have it being a collaborative approach, as opposed to like, yes, I am the owner of the company, but by all means, if like, I mean, I ask the girls all the time, I'm like, what do you think I should do? Do you think I should use this product here or this product here? And what are your thoughts? Oh, that's interesting. Okay, maybe I'll try that. And it's just like, you know, like all of our brains working together. And it's not because, you know, I've been doing this long, so I own the company, that I have the right answer. Not at all.
That's right.
It's like, you know, we all have these creative brains and we all think differently. And it doesn't mean that the way she thinks is wrong and the way I think is right. No, like, and it to just empower them as to like I like to think of them as like entrepreneurs. Like, this is they're building their own business within a business.
Right.
You know, and I want that. I want them to, you know, I want them to shine in their own unique way.
Right.
Like, I don't under our umbrella, but I want KISS and the providers and the staff to still feel like they can stand out and be who they are without, you know, having to fit in this mold.
Right. And you're definitely doing it right. It's a pretty powerful dynamic for sure.
I have a question for you, and it's kind of off topic of being a business owner, but more so about the cosmetic industry. It kind of goes both ways with people. Some people absolutely hate it, and some people absolutely love it. How do you, like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, I see it as, you know, it helps build confidence and all of that. There are other people who say it's just the opposite.
Yep.
So what's your take on that?
So, good question. I was actually at a restaurant in Orland here a couple weeks ago. And the guy asked, he's like, what do you do? And I told him, and he's like, well, in my religion, we don't believe in that, because we believe that what God gave you is what you should look like. And I was like, I completely respect that.
It's okay, but we can enhance it a little bit.
Right. And that's totally fine. And, you know, I always tell people when people come in and they're like, oh, my husband, if he knew I was doing this, or, you know, God forbid.
Do you ever have people come in like that have to figure out, like, hide the way they pay for it?
We have like 5 different.
I bet. I'm sure that happens.
Not to hijack your question, but that just really made me
it's something
think of
I'm
that.
interested in.
They figure it out. And you know what? We are happy to accommodate. We're like, okay, if you need to sell this,
come with your piggy bank, whatever it is.
Come
we
with
got
the Visa gift cards. Because, you know, I mean, we have plenty of people that, like, when they buy their groceries, I just buy a $50 Visa gift card. And that's how they pay, you know, and you know what? Whatever you need to do. But I do like to tell them, I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't be doing this for anybody else except you. So if you're doing this because you are trying to get back at your ex-boyfriend or your ex-husband, or because the new wife is super hot or something like,
Right.
This is not the right way to go about this. Okay. So that's the first thing. And then the other thing is that, you know, it's about you and what makes you feel beautiful. And I always tell them, I'm like, listen, or they'll say, my husband tells me I don't need this. And I say, you know what? That's exactly what your husband should say.
He's supposed to say that.
He should be loving you for what
Regardless,
exactly what you are.
yes,
You're not
for
doing
every
this
wrinkle.
because your husband wants you to have bigger lips or no lines in your forehead. No. I get my nails done. I get my hair done because I like how I feel when I have that done. And it's the same thing. It's, you know, I like when I have makeup on. It makes me feel pretty and I feel more confident. I don't know. Is that wrong? I don't know. But
I love how I feel about 3 days after Botox.
Yeah, when it fixes, and you're like,
It's
who
the
is
best.
she?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, you do it for you. And if you're doing it for another reason, and I have had to have these conversations, these very difficult conversations with my clients. You know, she cries. I'm on the verge of tears. Like, no, you don't need to do this for him. You don't you really don't. Do you think, and I mean, I actually said this to her. I'm like, do you think if we gave you a little bit more cheek or we got rid of your under eye circles that he's going to love you more? Do you really think so?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and you know, then she starts crying because she knows the truth.
Right.
You know,
right.
like, no, if those under eye circles bother you, take care of them, sister, but
Right.
don't do it for him.
Right.
Like,
Right.
no. So yeah, there are people that are, you know, going to say, I don't believe in this and you don't need this. And I think, you know, when some people do have like controlling husbands and don't want it, I think it comes down to a little bit of an insecurity issue with like, oh, don't get too hot now. You
Right,
know,
right,
you're
right.
going to leave me. But I mean, you have to do what feels right to you. Like I like to wear, you know, my nails and my hair and my shoes and jewelry.
That's
I like
right.
it.
Right.
Right.
Judge
Do
me.
what works
That's
for
fine.
you.
Yeah.
So how did you respond to the gentleman that you said at the restaurant where he said it?
So then it was interesting. He followed it up with, he said, my sister is a plastic surgeon.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there you go.
And she is practicing in Dubai. And but she's doing plastic surgery in Dubai for like burns.
I was going to say
and
more for
disfiguring things like birth
tragic
defects.
situations.
As opposed to
That
like,
is
oh, I want bigger lips or I want, you know, less wrinkles or whatever. And I was like, okay, good. That's amazing.
Right.
You know, and so
right.
it was, I respect that. And hopefully he respected the, you know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah. I'm like, oh,
You do you, I'll do me.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
right. I'm like,
exactly.
if your wife decides she doesn't want her wrinkles, you can have her come see me.
Yeah, it's something that I come across with people because I get asked from people like, what do you do to yourself? I proudly say, this is what I do.
Yeah.
Go to Kiss.
Yeah.
And some people are just
some
like,
people
I
are
just don't
very
wanna get
secretive
into
about
that,
it.
or-
Yeah. And
So
some
like
people
I was
are
born with the skin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you know what?
I
Good
could
for
never
you.
make a face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by all means, like we are not here to shame the people who want
Right.
to be all natural by any means. Like if that's what makes you feel good about you, please.
Yeah.
By all means.
Yeah. You do you.
You do
You do you.
Like
Yeah.
we're not for everybody, and that's okay. We
Right.
don't try to be, you know, like we're not. That's okay. We don't have to.
So
be.
what do you say to the people who share that they won't, say, for example, they will never resort to Botox because it's not good for them, the long-term effects, or it's just, what are the...
So then I just approach it more of like a science.
okay.
Science. Like
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with cosmetics at all because,
Right.
you know, let's be real. Are you going to die from a wrinkle? No,
Mhm.
you're not.
Right.
Some people think they are, especially if they're, you know, have a wedding coming up and they have
Right.
a
It's
wrinkle.
like, no,
we have a
no.
lip emergency.
That is
we have this all
priority.
the time. But
lip
no,
emergency.
A
yes,
lip emergency.
yes, it happens all the time. But no, I just look at it from a science. I'm like, you know, I answer it from a science standpoint. I'm like, you know what? It first of all, it's not poison. It's the protein extracted that's made synthetically in the lab. It's not botulism. You know,
Right.
like,
Right,
it's
right.
not protein. And this is how it works. And it relaxes the muscle and it wears off in 3 to 4 months. and you're not poisoning yourself. You're not putting these, carcinogens in your body. And like, so I try to approach it from more of a science standpoint and not more of like a judgmental kind of, well, you need this because nobody needs this.
Right.
People want it, and that's great. But
it could be a really important want.
Yeah.
Priority want.
Yes, exactly. But
it's not life or death, right?
No.
Yeah. Well, what is the difference between, say, Botox or there's nothing permanent, right? Like even like lip fillers. Is there anything permanent that Kiss does?
No.
Okay.
So Sculptra is a product that we use a lot, and even still, that's not permanent. That is your own body. It's a biostimulator, so it stimulates your body to produce collagen. And so we stopped making collagen when we're in like our mid-20s to early 30s, and you don't necessarily realize it until you look in the mirror when you're like in your 40s, and you're like, why is my skin dull and crepey and what's going on here? And you've lost that collagen. So what Sculptra does is that, think of it as like grass seed or fertilizer. So it's an injection, and it stimulates your body to produce collagen again. So it's your own. It's derived from corn and beets. It's very, when people are like, oh my God, that stuff is so bad for you. I'm like, it's from corn and beets. Like
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's really nothing bad about that.
I promise. And they actually, it was first discovered. Well, it wasn't first discovered, but it was first used in the early 1990s for HIV lipoatrophy men who had that stigma of. Think of like Philadelphia, like Tom Hanks, where he was very gaunt looking and had that sick, a little bit. Yeah, like that. They had that stigma attached to them of like, ooh, they're sick, they're HIV, they're a gay man, and like people would shun them. And so they were using Sculptra to have more volume,
like a filler.
Structure. Yeah. And then it lasts 2+ years. And so then they were
it lasts that long?
It lasts 2+ years. The data will say 25 months, but in reality, it's definitely longer. Like, I mean, we've seen it, but we just don't, they stopped the study at 25 months. So that's what they can say like on label, but it's your own, it's your body is producing its own collagen again, giving that structure and support. So is it permanent? No. And honestly, I don't really want anything permanent. There is a product out there that we have not brought in because it is more permanent. It's called Belafil, and think of it, it was used previously in like orthopedics and things like that for like joints, and they can put it in folds, which is fine, and it may look great, and you're like, oh my God, this is great, this is amazing, except we're still going to continue to age and things move and shift a little bit. Yeah. And then so fast forward 10 years from now, when you have like these looks like toothpaste in your folds.
Oh gosh.
Because it's
right. Yeah.
It doesn't look right.
Right.
So there are things out there, and there's surgical interventions that can be permanent, but no, we don't do anything permanent. Like we're all non-surgical injectables, lasers, microneedling.
Speaking of surgical and lines and wrinkles, do you see Kris Jenner?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, does she look amazing?
I know. I'm like, okay, Kris.
Wow.
Oh, girl. Yeah, I know.
She looks really good.
She does. She's all over social.
That's just, I mean, even though the Kardashian haters out there, you can't hate on that.
I know. I'm like, she looks great.
She looks amazing.
Yeah.
70 years old, looks like
unreal.
24-year-old.
Yeah.
She looks like a combination between her. Who is it? Probably Kendall and Kim.
Kim, for sure.
Just, wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. Yeah. She looks great.
Wow. Okay. So a few more questions. I know we're just totally picking your brain here. What advice would you give to women who want to take a clinical skill and build it into a scalable, respected brand?
I would say that, when I was first getting into this industry, I found a mentor that I really looked up to. I was like, she's classy. She knows her stuff. She's got her brand developed. She's, I don't know. I just gravitated towards her, and I was like, well, there's no need to reinvent the wheel here. Like, well, I don't need to
that's like
copy her, but like I can basically follow in her footsteps of the things that she has done. And, I basically found a mentor that I really looked up to and respected. And I was like, that to me is what I think of success.
I love that. And I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of our guests say the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the mentorship that they
Mhm.
received
somebody,
really
right.
was
Yeah.
so important and critical during
Yeah.
their
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, there's no need to reinvent the
Yeah.
wheel. Like
No.
she kind of figured it out. And I was like, okay, like she kind of had like a blueprint per se of what success looked like to her. And, you know, just from like a moral and ethical standpoint, I was like, she is it. And
Yeah.
so I, you know, really, I spent a lot of time learning from her.
So what's next for KISS?
What's next for KISS? So we have 2 locations,
Mhm.
and we're going to stay with 2 locations.
You said you don't want to grow.
Yeah,
You don't
no,
want to build on.
We don't, you know, we always want to grow, but we're not looking to have another location right now. I don't have any plans of that. But so right now, the biggest thing that we're working on is, so we have a training academy within our practice. In our Tinley location, we have a classroom, and I do a lot of trainings. I do private trainings. I train for drug companies, and we do group trainings. And so we're in the process right now of transitioning our training platform to do like an online platform and get continuing education credits for it. So like,
That's
you know,
great.
to keep your license
Mhm.
active, you have to, you know, have so many credits per year. So we're building the online training modules. So when people want to sign up for a course, they will get the online login to learn the didactic portions. So it'll be like 2 hours didactic, so they can learn all the basics. They can rewatch it. They can, you know, listen to it again, take notes, and then they'll come to us to do the hands-on portion. So
So you're like the clinical
Yes.
version of it.
Yes. And like, you can't do it all online because this is hands-on.
Right.
You know, so like we can do, I almost feel like I don't want to say I'm wasting their time because it's all important, but like when people are in person and like, especially if they're coming in from, you know, far away to learn, I'm like, here I am just like barfing stuff from a textbook
Right.
to them.
Right,
And
right.
I'm like, where's, you know, I'm just trying to work smarter, not
Mhm.
harder. I'm like, they could do all of this on their own so that when we're together and doing hands-on stuff that we're really
It's like
maximizing.
focusing,
We're
yeah.
maximizing
Like that
that
hands-on
time.
part. Right.
Yeah. So we're in the process of transitioning to that. So we have a team coming out Friday and filming like all the online stuff for the didactic portion of the training module. So they're going to film Friday, Saturday. And so by the fall, we'll have them online, and then the in-person will truly be more just like in-person learning hands-on. So we can, you know, help with like technique and actually like feeling how you're supposed to be.
And do you have
injecting.
certain injectors that, aside from yourself and probably Ashley, that when you're doing that hands-on training that they can be with? Like, do they do like a buddy system, or are you always present for those?
So it's Ashley or myself. We are there for the hands-on portion, and then, you know, we will continue to stay in contact with them if they have. But it's hard because geographically, you know,
Right.
they fly back to wherever they are,
Sure.
or go to wherever they are, and, you know, attempt to start their business or work for a company or something like that.
That is so impressive. You should be so proud of yourself.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Your story is just, I mean,
Thanks. I
literally
mean,
starting from what you were shared from the very beginning of our
Right.
podcast to like doing something that you truly like love.
Yeah.
And I mean, now you have people from all over the United States coming to you.
To learn. Right. So you
That's-
have the nickname the Chicago Lip Boss.
mhm.
How did you get that?
Yeah, so you know what? I wish I had a really cool story. But
I know, but it's so cute. Like all the merchandise, everything is so cute.
Yeah, so it kind of took its own branding, you know, spin of itself. But lips are hard. And I really wanted to get good at it because I was like, if I can do a good lip, like people will recognize that, and
Sure.
and people will be like, wow, she knows what she's doing. And so I spent a lot of time, you know, learning a bunch of different techniques and using a bunch of different products and just kind of fine tuning. And
I was going to ask, actually, I'm going back. does this coincide with, remember the whole Kylie Jenner with the lip thing, remember? And then all of a sudden
she like dissolved and
and then everybody was like just obsessed with lips. Like I can imagine that was huge.
It was huge. And I wasn't, honestly, like I would have girls come in, they'd be like, okay, do you know Kylie Jenner? And honestly, at that point, I would be like, I don't know which one is which.
I know.
But
Kardashian and Jenner should like love us because we talk about them on almost every podcast. They get mentioned. Yeah,
I know. It's so funny. Yes. They need us, Michelle.
They do.
Seriously.
It's our guilty pleasure. We text each other during the shows.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
I love it. And my husband claims he does. He's like, what are you watching? And then next thing you know, like the episode will end. He'd be like, well, what happens next? When's the next one coming on? I'm like, yeah, I know. You're hooked, aren't you?
Right. Right. So yeah, it probably did kind of coincide.
Well, because
everyone's lip fascination.
Well, and then that
did.
kind of sort of the whole makeup and all that.
Yeah, I don't even really know when all that started, to be honest with you. But I guess I just wanted to be really good at lips, and I needed a good Instagram handle.
It's a great one.
It worked for you.
I wish there was a better story.
No, it's great. It works.
Really all there is. Some people are like, wait a minute, but you're in Monaco. You're not even in Chicago. I'm
it's
like,
Chicagoland.
I'm like, it's the burbs.
That's okay. No, we all say we're from Chicago.
Yeah. Well, nobody knows. Like,
no.
Tinley Park.
Right.
But, I mean, if you're from here, I guess you do. But still, Monaco is like blip on the right.
Right.
We literally have grain elevators across from our
There you go.
building.
This is
People
true.
call and they're like, I think I'm lost. I'm like, nope.
You are right where you're supposed to be.
Right across the street.
Park on the street. Yep, that's us.
There you are.
Okay.
And a Casey's is
Yeah,
down that way.
Casey's,
Yep. Corn. I'm like, you see all the corn? Yep, that's us.
You are right where you're supposed to be. Come on in.
Yeah.
Come on. So what does a typical day look like for you? Say when you wake up to going to bed.
Okay, well,
Like one of the more norm days, not when you're traveling and, but like your
so I wake up at 5 because I need my time. And if I don't have my time.
And how old are your children now?
20 and 18. So they're like basically.
So they totally grew up with this.
Yeah. They did. Like when they were younger, I was like, can you just like edit my photos and like manage my social media? And they were like, ugh, you're so annoying. I'm like, come on, you're like 14. Isn't this like what you do?
Right.
They'd be like, fine. I'd be like, I'll pay you. And they would do it for like 30 minutes maybe. And they'd be like, I'm done. I'm like, no. This is a job.
Yes. I will pay you.
Yeah,
this is like, yes.
They're like, we're good, Mom. Yeah. I'm like,
speaking of social media, and I want to get back to your question too, but speaking of that, like your socials are so cute. I mean, KISS in general, I mean, your team does an amazing job.
They do.
They do an amazing job,
Yeah.
but yours specifically they're so cute. Do you have help?
Yeah. So I did not originally. I was like, that's honestly how I really grew my following was it used to be a lot easier, right? All I had to do was like post a still picture.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to have this clever reel music caption.
Right. It wasn't so competitive.
I could just post the before and after and like my name and
we're good.
Right.
That was all I needed to do. So, and I was very active with doing that initially. And I think that's really how I grew, but then like everyone started like elevating and upping their game.
TikTok jumps,
yes, and
joins picture.
It was like, Instagram. whoa! I can't do this anymore. I can't keep up with with my schedule and with trying to navigate social media and blah blah blah. I couldn't do it. So we ended up hiring a company to do it, which was fabulous, and we had her managing it for several years and. Once again, things, continued to elevate and become more professional. And I was like, okay, we need to like stay up on this. And so we just had a conversation and I was like, listen, I had a very specific list of wants. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is what I need. So like, this was in 2024, we had this discussion. And then I was like, in 2025, like, this is where KISS needs to go with social media. And she said, I completely understand, and I'm pretty sure you've outgrown me.
Yeah.
And I respectfully decline. And I appreciated that.
Yeah.
As opposed to her telling me that I can do this, and then no,
Right.
she can't.
And then you're going to waste your time because in 3
Yes.
months you're not going to be happy, and then you're going to start over
So
anyways.
I appreciated that, and we, we went our separate ways, and we still, have a great relationship. And so we onboarded a new social media team, and I always tell people, they're like, oh my God, your social media is so good. I'm like, I have like 20, they're like literally 22 or 23, 24, maybe, I don't know. I'm like, and they are like Nazis.
They're like on it.
They are, but you know what? We need that.
Yeah.
We need accountability. We need somebody to say like, hey, you have a deadline and I need this by blah, blah, blah. Because we need to start pushing out content. And I'm like, oh, I'm glad somebody's thinking about that because I'm not.
Well, you're so busy just working.
Yeah,
and
it gets lost.
Are they actually at the locations and they kind of have to follow you around almost? Like,
well, so
we do.
We do
is hands-on.
Yeah, so we do content days, like once a quarter. So we have another one coming up actually this Friday, and where it's really hard to schedule because we have to block all the provider schedules.
Mm-hmm.
So no revenue is coming in, and plus we're spending a lot of money to keep the employees that we have to pay them
right.
to shoot this content. We have to pay the company to come in but anyway, so that's like where we spend our marketing dollars is with social media. So they come in and they are very on it as far as like what's trending and we need you to do this. I'm like, basically just tell me where to stand, what I need to say, where I need to go.
Right.
I can't keep up.
No.
So just tell me
this
what
is
I
your
need to
gig.
do.
You tell me what to do.
I will
I'll do it.
Just
and
feed
then
me the stuff.
Yes,
let me know.
Yes.
So we do that. And then we do like professional photo shoots and we have
I saw you had one not too long ago.
Yeah,
right?
we had that one was February. We'll do one. And yeah, this is another thing. Like we have one in September, and we were talking about this in April, and they're like, okay, so in September for Christmas and for New Year's, and I'm like, dude, it is.
You're like,
April.
come on,
right?
But I need that. We need that because if we're not,
you gotta plan ahead, and it's
So, but yes, so we have a team that it's pricey, but that, like I said, that's what you kind of need to do.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's so competitive, and especially with you guys, with your industry.
Aesthetics. It's
for sure.
Our original social media, she was like, you guys are your own worst enemies because you got to keep up with the next one and keep up with the next injector and outdo the next injector. And she's like, you guys are your own worst. Like,
oh, it's so competitive.
Yeah.
I mean, and then all your injectors too, like they have their own socials, which I love how they tag Kiss on every one of them. And then it lists all the injectors. I mean, you have that flow and it's just, I mean, that was genius.
Yeah. So I have this team running, like our social media team. They do my personal, so the Chicago Lip Boss account, and then they also do the Kiss Aesthetics account. So the Kiss Aesthetics account, they'll post 3 times a week on that. The social media team will. So the other 4 days a week, like I basically am rotating it through the provider. So it's like basically once a month, it's your day.
Right.
But you know what? You can highlight you. And you can let your personality shine through and you can show your before and afters and you can, you know what I mean? So it's like their time to take that. So that way it's fair. It's not like, well, so-and-so is getting all of this attention and all the posts are about so-and-so. No, like
pick it up a notch then.
Right.
You can do your own.
Yeah. They have embraced that. And they were such a big part of, we had to fill out this like branding questionnaire when we first onboarded the social media team. And it was like 35 questions and it was really good, hard questions. And was like,
makes you really think.
Yeah. I was like, I don't even know if I can answer these.
Yeah.
And I was like, but you know what? Like, I want them to answer it because Kiss Aesthetics is not me. It's all of us. So I sent it out to everybody and I was like, please fill this out. Submit it to me, in 10 days. And so they submitted it. And so I read, and I literally locked myself in the esthetician room on a Friday and like went through all the responses and typed it up and sent it to the social media team. But literally I was so proud. I was like in that room by myself.
You're probably crying.
I was like,
getting to know like the side of them.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't have said it better because it was like, we're all on the same page. We all have the same mission. We all have the same goals, but it was all with their different little personalities like inserted in there. And I was just so like, I'm like, this I'm like, I actually gave them all to our practice manager. I'm like, put them in their employee files. Like I was so proud of them. And then so I put it all together and I submitted that to our social media team. So then they could really, it was like a
Get
really
to know their personalities.
Yeah.
And,
That was like,
and like that team morale too.
yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, this is you guys. It's not me barking post on social. Like, you be you. You show your personality and you be funny or witty or whatever you are. You know, people
the
like
personalities. I mean, you see them shine through.
Yeah,
through
you
the
do.
socials.
Yeah.
I mean, Becca, I have to she's hilarious.
She's like
I always tell her
she's the queen of social media.
I don't know how she comes up with some of those trending.
Super creative. Super creative. She's so like, funny. Whenever we're like, okay, we need something to post. Becca, help us. What do you think?
She's like, I got you.
Yes,
I got you.
She's awesome. She's awesome.
So going back to, and I totally interrupted that, your day to day. So you wake up at 5.
Because I need my time.
Yes.
And so I have coffee. I check my email. I need like 2 hours. It's kind of a lot, but I do.
No.
So I wake up 5,
I get it
do all
as a
the
layer.
things, go to the gym from like 7 to 8, come home, shower. My day doesn't start in the office until like 10:30 or 11.
That's all right.
And people are like, really? Well, it must be nice. I'm like, no, girl, I've been up since 5.
You're like,
listen,
right?
I'm going at it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's not like I just slept.
You're like,
in
I'm
till
already
10.
5 hours into it.
Yeah. But it's just what I need to do. I need to have my time. Yeah, I need to have my time. Then I'll, work. And when I'm in the office, I'm usually like 11 to 6 or 11 to 7, somewhere around there. And then come home. My husband, thank God, he likes to cook.
Bless his heart.
I usually come home and dinner is like made, and so we have a thing. I'm like, babe, if you can just handle dinners, I will clean up, and I will also put away all your laundry. I will do your laundry and I will put it away.
Deal. Yeah.
It's a good trade-off.
Okay. I'm like, because I can't handle it when it's on the side of your bed for weeks and weeks and weeks. So you just make me dinner and I will wash the dishes. And sometimes he doesn't even want me to because he has like these special pans and special knives. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm
Don't
like,
scratch. Don't
I'm like, oh, geez. Like he really
like
gets
that,
into
though.
all of that. So he doesn't sometimes even want me in
That's
the
a good
kitchen,
thing.
which I'm like, hey, okay.
I would buy him some more of those for like
Right.
Christmas, his
I
birthday.
did. I did.
See?
I sure did. But yeah, and then I will, do the laundry and put it all away in its appropriate places and all is good. So we have our balance there. So yeah, I get home like 7 or 8, come home, and I am usually toast by the time I get home. Because it's like, I've been on, especially, when you're like, you're talking, and you're on, you have to like be like, hi, how's your day? How's your trip? How's the kids? Like you're just barfing words all day.
The small talk.
Yeah.
And
and not that it's not meaningful. It is, but I am like, I'm drained. I'm drained. Like I've given it all. And like, sometimes I come home and Mike, he wants to talk and I'm just like, babe, I will listen. You talk all you want. And I am here and I am listening. But I'm good, and so I'm tired. And we like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm like, oh, it's getting time. We gotta go to bed. Grab the dogs, and
5 o'clock comes early.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
That's really, and even on the weekends, it's really embarrassing to say, but like, especially on Friday night, I'm like, I'm done. People are like, oh, let's go out. I'm like, I am getting in my jams. I'm putting on Dateline. I'm ordering pizza. That's right. I'm gonna watch a murder show. And
you're amongst your people.
Yes.
You're amongst your people.
Yes.
I'm socializing and
I just feel like you put out so much, so you just need some time to kind of, like, my daughter actually said, she's like, my social battery is drained, and I'm like, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. Like, I need some time to read,
because what happens is that you get to the point where you are just drained, like you're talking and you can't even, it just comes out, right? And you just know, like, I'm not even making sense at this point.
No,
and you get tired of hearing your own voice. And, and then you have I see on your socials every now and then some of your dogs, right? Little mascots. It looks.
Well, we have a dog at the office, which is Ashley.
Okay.
And he's 1. And then I have my dogs. I have labs, so they're like too big and too obnoxious and shed way too much to go to the office. But hers is like this little cute little thing. So
he's like a bulldog.
He's like a pocket American bully. So he's like, He's like this little short,
stocky guy.
Yeah,
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these girls in the
Yeah,
office.
all the girls.
Yeah.
Whenever a
All
man
the
comes in,
attention.
he's like, "Arr!" We're like, oh, God, like it's a UPS. We're like, it's okay. Men are okay, honey. Like,
yeah. He's used
like,
to all
he
the
needs
girls.
to protect. Yeah, he needs to protect us.
So cute.
Yeah, he's adorable.
He's your protector.
He is, but he's definitely our mascot. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. And people like now they're like, "Where's Poe? Where's the dog?" You know,
Yeah.
Now it's like part of it.
But you've trained him well, right?
Yeah, he's a good
He
boy.
can stick that mail.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Seriously, yeah,
Right.
he's a good boy though.
So let's wrap it up with
Yeah.
our fun rapid fire questions. So
Oh, boy.
we're ready. These are
just fun.
Okay.
these are fun.
It's just for fun.
I'll let you start.
What's your morning routine in one word?
Oh, that would be hard in one word.
Morning routine in
One word.
I feel like I like I don't want to say like order, but I need that routine. I hate to say my morning routine is a routine, but it is. Like
Yeah.
if I fall out of that, I feel like if I'm, it's Saturday and I'm like, oh my God, it's 11 o'clock and I haven't even had my breakfast. I'm like, my whole day's screwed up.
You're like, oh great,
Yeah.
now what? Now what? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I
like
need
not that structure.
order,
yeah, I like
structure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
structure.
I get it.
That's a good one.
Same way.
I need that.
All right. So what is your go-to confidence booster before a big meeting or event?
Well, I always like to make sure my tox is rather fresh, but I love to get a BBL Moxie. So BBL is a laser, so broadband light laser, and it pulls pigment out, and then the Moxie like buffs and polishes the surface of your skin. So I usually like to do that like 2 to 4 weeks prior to whether it's a presentation or a big trip or something, because it's like that sweet spot when your skin just looks
Super fresh.
like flawless, glowy. Like
how often can you get that done?
We recommend doing like a series of 3 and then like minimally once a year. I get it done like I usually in the winter months, like basically from like September until let's say April, when I'm not in the sun, and even when I am in the sun, I'm still like under a hat and SPF and all that. But I'm usually doing something like once a month, whether it's a peel, whether it's a laser, whether it's microneedling. I try to just utilize those winter months to get rid of all the sun damage and stuff. But that's probably my BBL Moxie is like
your go-to
It's confidence booster.
Yeah.
What's the beauty product you can't live without?
I would say my favorite is the Elastin Hydra Tint. It's an SPF, but it's also a tinted SPF, and it's not heavy, and it has that nice tint to it where it almost like looks like it's a foundation, but a very light foundation. Like it kind of blurs, so it looks like you have makeup on, but you really don't. But it's an SPF, and it's also a moisturizer, so it's like
does everything,
all the boxes. So sometimes if I'm in a hurry, I'll just like put that on and maybe a little bit of like mascara
or something.
Done. Yeah,
and available at Kiss Aesthetics.
of course.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, but that's my favorite.
I'm going to ask you a personal question. Do you do anything like that? Like, because your skin is always so glowy.
I do chemical peels, but I do them on myself.
Wow, that's impressive.
Really?
Your skin looks really good.
Yeah, so like chemical peels and microneedling. I have my own little pen.
Oh, really?
You do?
I do.
Oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, her skin does look
It's
good.
kind of
got a
crazy obsession of mine.
Okay, because your skin is always glowy.
Yeah, no, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, injectables. I go to like,
but she does the peels and all that.
Yeah, that's what I do
the
at my house.
at-home version.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm doing something wrong, but
Well, it looks
I
good.
wouldn't know.
So yeah, nobody would know it.
Yeah, it
So
looks great.
thank you.
I just totally exposed your secret there,
You
didn't
did.
I?
It's okay. I share it all.
Right.
All right. So the fourth one, biggest this is going to business lesson you've learned as a CEO.
Business lesson that I've
The
learned.
biggest,
That
most important business lesson you've learned.
I guess in my head, when I envisioned what a leader looked like, a boss or a leader or a CEO or whatever, an executive, I had this vision of somebody who, male or female, just came in and like dominated the room and everyone kind of fell in line and were a little bit like nervous or stressed out or like watching their P's and Q's. And that to me was like, but that is not at all what I am.
That's what you don't want to be, right?
Exactly, right. Because it's like, no, you don't want people to fear you and be nervous around you. Like, you want to have an open, honest conversation, and you want them to want to be here and want to help me help you. You know, I want the employees that are engaged, and in order to have engaged employees, I need to be aware of what's happening in their life and am genuinely interested in what their hobbies are and what they're doing.
Like their well-being. And you don't want them walking on an eggshell.
Exactly. And I think that just getting rid of that kind of and it was my own, you know, thought. That's what a leader or an executive or whatever looks like. But it's just so far from what
your personality and
it's not who I am, and it's not who I want to be, and it's not who, you know, my team knows of.
Right. You just want to be yourself and have
so
a
I
mutual
guess,
respect.
is that like, so what was the question
what was the most important lesson you've learned as a CEO? And I think that really kind of nailed it. You know what you don't want to be like as a CEO. Okay. Yeah, I think that was great. I answered it for you. I wasn't sure. No, you answered it just perfectly.
Okay. Staci, your questions are like serious minor movie.
No, my next one is really cute. So
okay,
but no, you're up next.
So coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay, you cheat a little bit.
I do.
It's matcha.
Oh,
I had to ask
coffee
Lauren.
or matcha tea.
I don't even know what that is. Is that green stuff?
She had said yes. She had said earlier she drinks coffee in the morning.
Okay,
so I left the matcha.
I had to
ask
Lauren is that matcha or is that like
it's green?
It's green.
Yeah.
Is it green tea? I know Courtney drinks it. Kourtney Kardashian.
Oh, here we go again. Oh yeah, everything
goes back to the Kardashians.
Well, you do the mix thing. You mix your coffee and your tea, your matcha.
Well,
is it a powder?
Matcha is a powder, but I drink chai tea with espresso in it.
Oh.
So it's a mix.
Okay. Okay.
I know.
Is it one drink that you order, or do you tell them to mix it?
No, you just say you want a chai with a shot of espresso.
Okay.
It's called a dirty chai.
A dirty chai. Oh, that's right. I knew it had a dirty chai.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, try it sometime.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I go up there and say, "Can I have a dirty chai?" They're going to know what it is.
But it's not. Is chai matcha?
No.
Oh.
No. It's two different types of tea.
Okay.
But matcha is green.
Okay. And chai is?
It's a black
brown,
tea.
Black. Okay.
Yeah. And what is your go-to coffee? Like, this is just leading on.
I like, you know what?
Do you just do your own?
Yeah.
Same.
I prefer to make my own.
Yeah.
I like my Dunkin' grounds with my Coffee Mate Italian sweet cream.
Sweet cream. I like Coffee Mate better than, what is the other one? International Delight.
Yeah, Coffee Mate.
I don't like International Delight. It's got a weird aftertaste to it.
I don't like it.
It's got to be Coffee Mate.
That's my fave, though. I do it myself.
I'm sure these brands love us. Like,
when we look at the camera
rip
and
on
say
them
it.
and
Yeah.
All right. See, I have one that's not so serious. This is a fun one. Your most used emoji in your text.
I bet I know what it is.
A heart.
Is it a heart?
Were you going to say
a needle?
Oh, a needle.
Oh, how funny.
You know what? It probably is. If I'm like no, it's a heart. It's a heart.
That's good.
Because it's like, it spans to everybody. I can send it to my kids, my husband, the staff.
What color heart?
It's a red one.
Okay.
It's nothing.
Okay. I do the pink one. But
I should do a pink one. Yeah. I don't know.
You can start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I will.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
To change that. But yeah, it's a heart. Boring.
What is yours?
Oh, I always send a white heart.
A white heart?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is yours? Well, yours is a pink. Is yours
Yours
most
is pink?
I like to use the pink heart.
But is that the most used emoji in your phone?
Probably. Yeah, the pink heart though.
And yours is a white heart most used?
That and the vomit emoji. Between those two.
Okay.
The eye roll, the smack my head.
gosh.
Those are used all the time.
I didn't even think about that. I love, if I'm being like this, my second runner up is the one with the face, like the serious face. Like, are you serious?
Right.
Are you effing with me? Like, just this blank
It's probably
stare.
like the vomit one or like the dead emoji. Like,
Oh
dead.
my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It
You
makes
use that
it
with
hard.
me a lot.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That's a good question, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
It says a lot.
yeah.
It does.
So if I were to talk to your employees, what would they say your leadership style is in one word?
I don't know. That's kind of scary to think about.
Well, next
You can
time
ask,
you're there, you ask Ashley and
I'll
I'll
ask
ask
Ashley.
Becca. Yeah. In one word. And then we'll follow up with you on that one.
Yeah, follow up, please. I would say one word. I try to be humble.
would
I
say
don't
that.
know if that's what they would describe me as, but I don't know. Honest. I don't know. That's a good question. Let me get back to me on that.
Okay.
Let me know what they say.
I
Or maybe
will.
not. If it's not good, you don't
They're
I'll
have
just
to
be
probably
like,
gonna-
it was a good answer on the podcast, Kim.
They're probably going to watch
Don't
this
worry
and then
about
they'll
it.
take it in their own hands.
Yes.
And they're going to let you
Yes.
know. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure it's
Yeah.
something positive.
Yes. Yes. And if not, they won't tell you anyways.
No.
Probably,
Yeah,
right.
they'll
So-
make
They can lie.
yeah, they can lie.
Just lie.
That's fine. Okay, last one. If you had to go makeup free, but could only wear just one, are you team lipstick, lip gloss, or mascara? Team mascara. That doesn't count like eyelash extensions or anything. So if you didn't have eyelash extensions, are you mascara, lipstick? That's a tough one.
For me
because those are my
personally, I
two
feel
go-tos.
like I need mascara because when I don't wear it, people ask me if I was crying or if I was sick. I'm like, no, I just don't have mascara on. They're like, oh, okay. So I guess mascara.
So we're glad you're not sick. You
Yeah,
just don't
or
have
crying. Yeah, that's usually what. Are you sick? Are you sad? Are you crying? I'm like, no, dude.
I don't have my face on, okay?
Yeah, I just
Leave me
didn't
be.
put my makeup on. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not
Great.
one of those people that just roll out of bed and can be beautiful. But I'm glad there are people in the world that can do that.
Well, I think you're helping make them, actually.
I think you
Try.
are.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
helping them.
Create them.
But yeah, what about you?
Probably a lip gloss would be.
Yours
Yeah.
too?
Lip gloss.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking at both of you guys. You guys have nice, juicy lips right now. And I'm over here thinking I need my lip gloss as I'm looking at you two.
Do you have a stain on?
No.
Because they look like you have something.
Oh,
on.
well, that's good.
Yeah,
So
I
don't
wouldn't
look
have thought
like
you
I-
needed a lip gloss. Right
Yeah.
now.
I'm over here like licking them.
No,
thinking
it's fine.
they're not shiny like you guys.
No. Well, that's good to me.
Well,
That's good to me.
if not, I'll be at your office in about
Right.
an hour.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
but this has been so
been fun.
much fun. We could go
Thank
on
you
forever.
for having me.
Yeah. I was
Yes.
when we were talking about this and she said you were coming. I'm like, this will be a good
She's
time.
like, I am not missing this one.
No, like it's fun. I've known you for a long time and
Yes.
I'm like, it'll be good to sit
Yeah.
and talk to her and learn a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is
Thank you.
fun.
And I loved all the pink that you have in the office.
Well, I love all the pink that you have in your
vibes
office.
well with me.
Yes.
It's my core.
Yes.
It's like
I like
pink.
it.
Your, I mean, obviously, I know both of your offices are pink.
Mhm.
But is that like just
I don't know.
because you remodeled that too, or is it when you moved your office in Tinley to the other Tinley, or did you redo the
we
most recent Tinley?
well, I mean, we
'Cause I
didn't
love
really
it.
we kind of redid everything, but I don't know. Pink has always just been, which I think is hysterical because Ashley hates pink.
Oh, does she?
She hates it.
What is her favorite color?
Black.
Well, that's my second favorite.
Yeah.
And, yeah, same. But it's like we're like so opposites. You know, she's like, pink. Like if I'm like, okay, we're doing a photo shoot, everyone needs to wear pink. She's like, I'm like, sorry. It's
Pink
what we're
it is.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's funny. But no, I like it. I just feel like it's girly and it's
It is
feminine.
girly.
I do feel bad sometimes when we do have men that come in and they're like, oh, is this like only for women? I'm like, no, we're all
Come
inclusive
on in.
here.
Yeah.
I promise we treat men, but there's a lot of pink. I apologize. And there's a lot of flowers and it's very feminine.
Men look good in pink too, like when they
Yeah.
wear like their pink,
Yeah.
polos or their button downs.
Yep.
Good.
I bought both of my son and my husband pink polos and they
Yeah.
wear them golfing. I
Yeah.
think they look good.
And yeah, guys like it too.
Yeah, they do.
What percentage of your clients are men-ish? I'm sure it's pretty small.
It is.
But
It is small. And honestly, the men, Usually it starts with like the wives or the girlfriends bringing them in, you know, they're like, well, it doesn't bother me, but it's bothering her.
Oh, no.
So
Yeah.
I need to get rid of these angry lines, or, you know.
Is that the most common is Botox
Yeah.
for men?
Yeah.
Or the women bring the men in so they can show them like, yes, like this is why I go so often. This is why I'm going to keep going. And
Yeah.
this is why
It's always really interesting when it's like Mother's Day and they come in to like buy a gift card and they're like, hey, so I need a gift card. So like, how much does my wife normally spend?
and you're like,
here?
oh shit, I don't want to.
You're like, it's
that's
like
top secret.
20, 50
Oh
bucks. We're
my
like,
gosh.
and we will never tell. I will just say, we will never tell. We're like, sure. That's
50
great.
bucks. Yeah.
That is
And then
great.
when they come in and they go to
Yeah.
pay, they just have all these gift cards that just
and
pile on.
You know what? We will keep your secret safe. And if they think you're spending $25
Perfect.
on your Botox, that's all they need.
That's all they need to know.
All they need
That's
to know.
right.
It's
That's right.
totally fine. We're just like, yep, perfect.
Yep, whatever.
That works.
So funny.
That
They
should cover it.
literally
That
have
should
no
about do it.
idea. Like, well, how many units does she? I'm like, what? Like we don't.
Confidential.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's like this
we
is
follow
like a medical
HIPAA.
record. We can't like disclose that. How much are you looking to spend? Oh, maybe like $50. Sure.
Perfect.
That'll add to it nicely.
Yeah. Mhm. That's
Love
exactly what she spends. That's perfect.
I love
so we
it.
just kind of play the
I
game.
love it.
Gotta play the game.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well,
Well, we're
so
yeah. Well, it's been so much
It's
fun.
been fun.
Oh my
Congratulations
gosh.
on all of your
Thank you.
success. Like,
so impressive.
thank you for having me. It was
of
really
course.
Yeah,
Of
super
course.
fun. Yes, we'll have to have you back too. This is so much fun.
fun. Okay.
If
Have
you
me
will.
back.
Yeah.
I'll be happy to.
So much fun. Maybe we'll do a traveling one and we'll go to her office and we'll do like a podcast.
You're welcome to. You're welcome to set up in one of the rooms. By all
and just
means.
that
It
would
would
be
be kind
so
of fun.
She'd be like, "Can you get out of here, please?"
No.
I mean, it would all match. 'Cause
It
the
would.
pink and the pink,
Very
right?
on brand. Very on brand.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
It's
you.
been congratulations again. You're amazing. You're amazing.
You know who